about the most magnetic and irresistible person you know. Somebody who walks into a room and the place lights up and everybody has to look at them. Guess what? They became that way because of confidence, and you can too. So in this video, I'll be talking about how you can become magnetic and irresistible and unignorable. So if you want to become your most confident self, then you want to stick to the end of this video, because by the end of this video, if you do everything that we discuss, you will become your most confident self in the shortest possible time. So let's get into it. If you want to know how to become your most confident self in 5 days, then check out the free ebook in my description box. The first thing you want to do is to visualize your most confident self. Visualize your highest self. You cannot become what you haven't seen. You can't. You need a picture of the person that you're trying to be. You need an idea, a very clear idea. It's like setting a goal. Imagine football players or for American soccer players, right? If you don't have a goalpost, all you're doing is kicking around the ball in circles and going nowhere. There needs to be a place that you're trying to get to. And that's what a vision does for you. That's what visualizing your best self does for you. Because it's a journey, right? You're not going to get there overnight, but you want to be sure that every day you're making choices that are taking you closer to this person. Like, for example, my own highest self, she's a very fun person. She laughs a lot. She's the life of the party. But right now, I'm like midway, because I used to be very quiet and shy and timid. But now I'm more confident. I'm more outspoken. I'm fun in my own circles when I'm with my people. So I'm slowly but surely becoming my most confident self, my highest self, because I have a vision of her. I know how she looks. I've lived her life. I've sat with her and seen her, right? So you want to see, what does your highest self, how does she eat? How does she dress? Where does she, what kind of friends does she have? What does she do for work? What does she do for fun? You want to really be in her life. If you listen to a lot of successful people, they will tell you that they already had an idea where they were going, and that made it easier to get there. Because you also know, like, if you're trying to become a certain person, there are opportunities that look good for others that you have to turn down. There are some jobs that you cannot take because they are not leading you where you're going. I remember a campaign Twitter did recently where they had like people's tweets from before they were famous, right? When they typed, and people were saying, oh, I'm going to win an Oscar, all of that. And it just shows you that you have to know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, the world is just going to push you along, and you don't want to do that. First step to becoming magnetic and irresistible is to know what that looks like for you, because what it looks like for you, it's not what it's going to look like for somebody else. What magnetic and irresistible is for Beyonce is not the same thing as is for Taylor Swift. So you have to know what that is for you, to you. How are you supposed to show up as your most magnetic and irresistible self? And then you can proceed on the journey. If you want to know how to become your most confident self in 5 days, then check out the free ebook in my description box. The next thing you want to do is accept yourself. Look, we're in a world where we're being battered with self-help and productivity and constant messaging that tells us that we're not enough. And if you buy into that, you're going to spend the rest of your life feeling inadequate. And that's going to be a problem, because there's no way you can be magnetic and irresistible if you feel inadequate. So you have to accept yourself, right? You have to look at your life and tell yourself that you are worthy, you are enough. As you are right now, you are deserving of the best life. And I know it sounds counterproductive, right? How do you change something if you accept it? But the truth is, you cannot change until you accept. The greatest change comes from a place of self-acceptance. If you don't love yourself, you can't make the change necessary. People think, oh, if I bash myself, if I hate myself, but think about it. You have friends who you encourage to the finish line when they're trying to do something great. So why do you think bashing yourself is going to get you there any quicker? The people that you see who are confident, magnetic, and irresistible, they love themselves. It's self-love, and you know that not all of them are perfect according to society's standards. Not all of them fit the traditional standards of beauty. Not all of them fit the traditional standards of who should achieve what they have achieved. There are hundreds of people who are living lives that according to society they should not have the right to, but because they were confident enough, they accepted themselves, they loved themselves, they were able to usher themselves into a life that was beyond imagination. And the key to self-acceptance is to practice self-forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself. You're a human being. Yes, you made mistakes, but guess what? You're here, and as long as you are here, you can do better. When you know better, you do better. You have to practice self-compassion. We beat ourselves up way too much. And if you're somebody who beats yourself up, you cannot be confident, because if you are your own enemy, you are projecting onto others to be enemies to you. And you have to practice self-love. Self-love is not just about nice baths and all of that. Self-love is about understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your individuality, and accepting yourself as already worthy. You're not an endless self-help project. As you are right now, you're deserving of every good thing that you desire. Yes, you should grow. Yes, you should do better. But do that from a place of understanding that you are not inadequate. So the second thing you want to do, if you want to own your own magnetism and irresistibility, there's a word like that, is accept yourself. You have to accept yourself. You have to forgive yourself for the mistakes you made in the past. You have to show yourself compassion for the times when you do things that you shouldn't have done. And you have to love yourself. Fix your self-talk. If you want to be your most confident self, you want to be magnetic, you want to be irresistible, you cannot be telling yourself that, look at you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid. It doesn't work that way, right? The voice that you believe the most is your own voice. And if at home you're telling yourself, look how stupid, you're so foolish, you don't know anything, you are going to show up that way in public. And you cannot be magnetic and irresistible if at home you believe that you're ugly and stupid. So you need to check what you're saying to yourself. You need to check. And for most of us, we tend to be our own worst critic, right? You tend to be, me included. I'm not here trying to act like I know all the answers, but I've come a decent way with regards to my confidence journey and affirming myself. But I have my low moments too, where I say things that I shouldn't be saying to myself, but that's like once in a while. Most of the time I'm affirming myself. I affirm myself so much that when I get into spaces, people think, who's this girl? Who does she think she is? I am God's child. So you need to get in the habit of affirming yourself. You need to start saying amazing things about yourself. Trust me, if you believe that you're all that in a bag of chips and you say that to yourself in your mirror every day, the way you're going to walk into a room, you're going to walk there like, dude, look at me. You need to check what you're saying to yourself. You need to develop affirmations that especially speak to the areas of your insecurities. We all have insecurities. There's no human being who doesn't have an insecurity. I don't know a single one, right? So speak to the areas where you feel the most inadequate and affirm yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, my God, you are so beautiful. What? Tell yourself you are capable, you are smart. The way I talk to myself, it shows up in my conversations with people. People can tell that this person respects herself. And when this person is alone, she speaks highly of herself. I speak very highly of myself, and I do not participate in conversations where people want to speak lowly of me. If it's a place where I cannot defend myself, I will never go there again. So you need to learn to speak highly of yourself. Tell yourself you're beautiful, you're smart, you're amazing. You light up the world. You're adding so much value in every room that you step in. Affirm yourself. Some of the biggest blows to our confidence come from people who are close to us. Family, friends, bosses. And so that's why it's important to audit your environment for people who are draining your confidence and making you feel less than. Look, nobody has the right to speak to you in a way that makes you feel like you have to shrink or that you're unworthy. And if there are people in your life who are repeatedly and consistently doing that, you need to get them out of your space, because becoming confident is not just something you can do by yourself. Yes, you are the primary source of your confidence, but you need to be surrounded by people who treat you and speak to you like you are fantastic, because you are. I remember when the first time I went to Dubai and I saw a Bugatti for the first time. I love cars. I love Lamborghinis and Bugattis. Don't have one yet, but I will eventually. Just keep reading. And I remember when I saw a Bugatti for the first time in my life, and I told my friends, oh my God, it felt like such a spiritual experience. And I spoke to the person who in charge of the showroom, or the Bugatti showroom. Obviously you can't touch them because the cars are worth like $3 million. So I couldn't touch it, but I could look at it and I could take a picture. And I spoke to the manager of the place, and I was just asking him questions about Bugattis, and he saved my name on his phone as Jola Bugatti, and it blew my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys have to call me Jola Bugatti from today on. And the amazing people that I have in my space, nobody asked me, how in the world are you ever going to afford a $3 million car? There are at least 4 of my friends now who call me Jola Bugatti. Like, they've changed my name to Jola Bugatti. That's what you need in your space. You need people that believe. I remember one day one of my friends called me up and said, Jola, I don't know how, but I know you're going to be a very successful person, and I cannot wait to see that happen. Look, life is hard. And the last thing you need is people around you who are condemning you and making you feel small. And there will be situations where you can't help it, but when you can't help it, do your best to spend the most time around people who speak life to you, speak life to your dreams, who believe in you, who affirm you. If you're always in the company of people who love you, who speak life to you, and you speak life to yourself, you will become magnetic. You will become irresistible. You'll be confident because you believe that you have a place in this world and you have a contribution. And you do. You do. And the final thing you want to do to become magnetic is to develop a confidence building routine. Look, confidence is like a muscle. It doesn't just happen. You have to build it every day. You have to work on it every day. You have to do new things so that you can change the way you see yourself. For me, one of the things I like to do is affirmations. I speak affirmations over myself daily, and I get my affirmations from the Bible, right? I speak over myself. I say I have the mind of Christ. The creativity of the Most High God is at work in me because God created the whole world. If I'm working with the creativity of God, I can never be stuck. I will always have solutions to every problem. So I make it a habit to speak over myself good things, and that's why it shows in how I walk into a room that this person is confident, because I'm constantly affirming myself. There's so many habits that build your confidence. Exercise builds your confidence. Prayer, I love to pray, and every time I pray, I spend time in God's presence. He shows me myself through his eyes, and it just changes things for me. Meditation, just taking your time to really be present with your thoughts and changing the negative ones, or rather alternating the negative ones. So you need a confidence building routine. Affirmations are the best for me, to be honest, because when you start speaking new things over yourself, it really changes the way your mind is structured, and you can start to become a new person. I want to see you become confident. I want to see you become your most confident self. I want to see you step into this world like you matter, because you do. If you want to know how to become your most confident self in 5 days, then check out the free ebook in my description box. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was amazing to have you here. See you next time.